Hi, I'm Deborah Peters from Neuroengineering Institute. Thank you for coming back to my Goal Achievement Series. In the last video, I left off talking a little bit about our unconscious mind, talking a little bit about Pavlov's dog experiment and how we postulated that we can create anchors in our nervous system and build up our neurology, and then utilize that to create good states in ourselves, and also to be aware of when that gets triggered, creating negative states in ourselves. So this is true also of others. In my communications class, I teach a great deal about how to help other people shift outside of a negative emotional or thinking state. I think that most folks are a little unconscious about how they think or what they think, and it's easy to get triggered if you're not aware, if you don't have a lot of self-awareness. So when you do have self-awareness, then that gives you even more capability to help those around you be more at cause and to manage their state when you're in communication with them. But that's a whole other series. Today I just want to get into taking these A goals and really understanding how to shift beyond your current limitations, limiting beliefs, and any judgments that you have. So at a core level, we are creating ourselves on an ongoing basis. And the main part of that creating took place somewhere between conception and the age of 7 years. Psychologists say that by the time a child is 3, the psychology of the child is basically formed, and then the child goes about, kind of getting that mirrored back to them through experiences for the rest of their life. When you're an adult and you're not getting the results that you want to get, then the best place for you to look is back in your consciousness, back into what judgments are you holding on to, what fears are running through your mind, what limiting beliefs are commanding you. For instance, if you don't have the love relationship that you want in your life, you might want to look at what limiting beliefs or fears you have around relationships, or maybe there's an abandonment issue or there's a challenge around that. If you're in business and you can't get your company to grow, then maybe you want to look at the consciousness of your team. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to raise your earning capability, you might want to look at the relationship that you have with money. What were you taught about money when you were a child? And then how does that get played out into what you project into your daily activities as an entrepreneur? So today let's talk just a little bit more about shifting your consciousness. So first of all, what is consciousness? Well, consciousness is the ability to be aware of the thoughts you're running and the emotions you're playing out. When you can be aware, you can actually shift it on the fly. It's those of us that aren't aware that after the fact we go, oh, I should have said this, or oh, I should have done that, or why didn't I think of that? So if you're ever saying to yourself, like, why didn't I think of that? Well, it's probably because you weren't self-aware enough in the moment so that you could actually be present to respond to what was going on. Instead, you were probably being triggered emotionally by some old anchor that's been there for a long time that just kind of got, the scab got rubbed off the wound, so to speak, and it got triggered and brought to the surface. I see this a lot in teams and companies where some people just can't manage their emotional state. I was at a car rental place one day a couple of months ago, and it was a very hectic Saturday, kind of limited in staff, and everybody was running around with their hair on fire trying to take care of the client load, and one of the employees completely threw a tantrum in the parking lot at one of the other employees in front of me, the customer. So if I wouldn't have known them or known what I know, I would have probably been caught up in it and maybe even walked away, and they might even have lost me as a customer. So when you're in a team environment, when you're in a corporate setting, when you're running your own company, the ability to really understand how people think, what pushes their buttons, what are the buttons that are being pushed, is how consciously aware you are of yourself. Now, you're probably asking me, well, what does that have to do with achieving my goals? Well, I'll tell you, it has everything to do with achieving your goals. Because your goals are there to get you to come to a higher level of functionality and self-awareness within yourself. So if you're not setting A-level goals, then you know you're playing it safe in life. And you're basically just doing what you have to do to get by. And truly, we're all greater. We're all greater. And you're greater than just getting by. So when I talked of reverse engineering the goal, this is where the unconscious really gets to go to work for you. If any of you have ever had a dog that is well trained, I used to have a herd dog. And so when I would take her herding, man, she would go out into the pen with the sheep and she would herd those sheep like an expert. Like, it was so dialed in. She was so good at what she did because she just was able to tap into this higher self within her and just do what she's designed to do. So you're designed to reverse engineer things. That's the way your unconscious mind works the best. If you have a goal and you're trying to figure out what the first step is, you're probably going to wait a long time for that goal to come to fruition. So when you set the goal, you want to begin with the end in mind. What's the goal? What are the sensory-based triggers around that? And then what are all the judgments that are contrary to that goal? So when you have judgments that are contrary to the goal, what you have to do if you want to get the goal is you have to keep breaking through. You have to keep going for it because it's just a lot of neurology that's built up in a negative way. And when you build up enough neurology around the positivity of the goal, then that's when the goal begins to pop and it gives you more fuel. It gives you more inspiration. It gives you more confidence. It gives you more power. You become empowered to be able to go for it even greater the next time. And this is the point of spiraling up. So how do you leverage this? Well, the first thing you do is you have to change your relationship to the word failure. Really, truly, there is no such thing as failure. Failure is probably the worst word that you can use when you're referencing things that haven't worked for you. I would suggest that you reframe it and you actually call it feedback. So the feedback you're getting is simply showing you what doesn't work. It's that simple. And when you take all the negative emotion off of it, when you stop making the word failure bad and you actually use the word feedback, then it becomes a growing term. It becomes a leverage term. Because inherent in every negative emotion, inherent in every judgment, inherent in every limiting belief is a positive learning. And if we allow ourselves to step out of the negativity for just a moment, and we ask our higher self, what's the positive learning in this experience? The learning of which that I can apply in every other way in this experience and all the other experiences that are connected to this experience that will allow me to get my desired outcome. That is your breakthrough. That is how you leverage your failures. That is how you reframe and you change the dynamic on your A goals. So I so appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing. Thank you for Google Plusing this and just getting it out to your network. Go to our website, sign up for our e-newsletters, come to our programs, and I look forward to working with you really soon. Many blessings and have a fabulous day. Take care. This is Deborah Peters from Neuroengineering Institute. Bye-bye.